Namaste and a very good morning to our distinguished guests, speakers, panelists, chief executive officers, managing directors, executive directors, fellow members of Indian Banks Association, delegates, knowledge partner, and all those with us here today. I am your host Mukti from Indian Banks Association, and I'm extremely delighted to welcome you all to IBA seminar on unlocking climate finance in India, with BCG as our knowledge partner. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the dignitaries to the dais. Please join me in welcoming Shri Sameer Shukla, Joint Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Government of India. Sir, may I request you to come to the dais, please? Shri Ashwini Tiwari, Managing Director, State Bank of India. Shri Raman, Chairman and Managing Director, SIDBI. Shri R.R. Rashmi, former Special Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and Distinguished Fellow, TERI. Shri Dhruba Puryakasta, Director, Climate Policy Initiative. And Shri Sunil Mehta, Chief Executive, Indian Banks Association. Ladies and gentlemen, as per our tradition to invoke the divine blessing, we will now have the ceremonial lighting of the traditional lamp. May I request Shri Sunil Mehta, Chief Executive IBA, to guide the dignitaries towards the lamp.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ.
So we request you to stay back for a group photo, please. Thank you. May this glowing lamp lead us to healthy, peaceful, and prosperous times. We look forward to an enlightening seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move ahead, I would like to recall the introductory seminar we had organized in December 2022, wherein distinguished experts and participants from member banks came together to start our ESG journey. Since then, we have been conducting monthly series of webinars and seminars on various aspects of ESG for our member banks in collaboration with various domestic and international organizations, covering topics on financed emissions, biodiversity, technological risk in hard-to-abate sectors, and so on. These programs are specially targeted for field functionaries working in the credit, risk, ESG, finance verticals of banks. There has been active participation from our members in these sessions. These sessions have been recorded and the recordings have been uploaded on IBA's YouTube channel so that member banks can view them at their convenience. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed with the inaugural session. May I invite Shri Sunil Mehta, Chief Executive, Indian Banks Association, for the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
A very good morning to all of you. It's a great pleasure for all of us that we have with us Joint Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Shri Samir Shukla, Shri Tiwari, MD, State Bank of India, Shri Raman, CMD, SIDBI, Mr. R.R. Rashmi, Distinguished Fellow of TERI, Shri Dhruv Prakasta, Director, Climate Policy Initiative, as our speakers for the inaugural session. I welcome them all in this event. This event cannot happen without the participation of our member banks, and I really feel happy to welcome senior executives, executive directors, CGMs, CROs, officials, and my fellow bankers participating in today's event. The theme of the event, as you pretty well know, is unlocking climate finance in India. The wordings are very relevant. Unlocking, it's locked. As a banker, we have never been considering climate risk into our risk underwriting standards. Yes, this was a natural calamity happening and we were factoring, we were providing restructuring, we were providing different type of reliefs, but this was never a part of the risk underwriting standards for the banking industry. And the basic reason was because the data was so fragmented, we never had the scope of connecting the data and creating a risk assessment model for them. Now that our Honorable Prime Minister in his Paris Declaration has decided that the country will move to net zero by 2070 and 50% of our renewable energy may come by 2030. This has created a greater commitment on the part of the country to start working on the lines of sustainable financing. Environment protection is necessary, as you all know pretty well, that this is a responsibility we all own to our future generation. To unlock this potential, the government is coming out. I'm also a part of one of the, chairing one of the committee from the Ministry of Steel, and there are a lot of committees have been formed in various important sectors which are CO2 emission, that how do we customize the international experiences on climate finance and international experiences of encouraging the sustainable financing into our Indian banking industry. For the purpose, we have created a committee in our IBA headed by Mr. Raman, who is on the dais. He is chairman of SIDBI and he is chairman of that committee also, standing committee, which is now deliberating on the various issues of creating a uniform standards which can be adopted by the industry. Why there is a sense of uniformity? Because there has to be a uniform system of underwriting. Otherwise, it can create arbitrage. Now, a large borrower is dealing with a number of banks, one bank prescribing one different standard, another bank prescribing a different standard. Then a borrower may like to, or a corporate or company may like to go to a bank which is less stringent, who doesn't ask for more compliances, who doesn't ask for more requirements, and that can create an arbitrage within the industry, which will not in the interest of everybody, because tomorrow the non-compliance will go up and the uniform adoption will not happen. And to create the industry standard, there need to be a brainstorming, collective thought processes. First of all is to create a taxonomy, that the government departments are working on it. After creating a taxonomy, creating a uniform database. As of now, there is no centralized uniform database which can be relied upon for developing the risk models. So that database need to be created. That is the need of the hour. Once the uniform database is created, maybe by the Ministry of Environment or maybe any body designated by the government, that can be utilized for creating a lot of risk modeling for the future. But we cannot wait till then. We have to start working. SEBI has already come out with their prescription for mandatory declarations. Now it is time for the banking industry to start working on it. And the first step in this direction is awareness. RBI in its discussion paper has mandated IBA to take a step forward in creating the awareness for creating knowledge sharing platforms and capacity building. We are closely working with our fellow institutions. Director IIBF is there, who have already designed few courses for the banker to have a preliminary understanding of the subject. We are conducting regular seminars and workshops to create awareness, so that first we understand why this is necessary to be embedded into our risk writing standards, into our underwriting standards, and why it is necessary for all of us to create a long-term value, not only for the banking system, but for the country as a whole, to preserve the environment and keep it in a way so that our next generations can take advantage of it. So in this context, our today's deliberation, we have invited the experts from various fields, those who have already gained knowledge from various deliberations in various segments, may it be taxonomy, may it be data, and we will be benefited by their experiences, and will create a common knowledge pool to design a proper underwriting standards, risk underwriting standards for the climate risk for our banking system. I hope our today's deliberations will really fuel the process, will provide a food for thought to designing an ecosystem which is conducive not only for the banking system. It doesn't create unhealthy competition, it doesn't create arbitrage, it creates a standard, and it is customized to our Indian requirement, because the climatic conditions across the world are not same. Even within India we have a variety of climates, so the climate to area differences will be there, industry to industry differences will be there, and what is green and what is a shade of green, and how to go to the ultimate green with the shades of green, that process and the gliding path will have to be decided by the government, by the regulator, and by the banking industry. I think regulator has already started working on it. SEBI has already come out with a declaration requirement for first 1,000 industries. RBI has come out with a discussion paper. Government departments have started creating taxonomy and finding the alternative technology and solutions for moving in this direction. And it is a turn of our bankers to embed this knowledge into our underwriting standard. With these few words, I welcome you all in this event and request your wholehearted participation, not only in understanding, but in contribution and questioning and challenging the panelists, so that we get the best out of today's deliberation. I welcome you all once again and open this house for further proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome address and for setting the context as well.